Good Monday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to what's making news, let's take a quick look outside our sweltering weather window this afternoon. This is our Tumwater Sky-Fi Tower camera near Leavenworth, and you can see the town of Leavenworth there in the middle of your screen. And boy, if you just look around the mountains, it just looks hot out there, doesn't it? That's trapped moisture that's in kind of the mid-levels, that haze that you see along the mountaintops. Also a few fires happening in Washington State. That's also providing a little bit of that haze, but I'll tell you what, it is hot and it's gonna stay hot. Look at these temperatures right through the 4th of July on Sunday. Yeah, today in the triple digits, above 110 for Tuesday. We're gonna get even hotter than that, and we're gonna stay hot. And it will cool down just a little bit by Friday, if you can call 98 to 108 cooler, and then even just a touch cooler than that on Saturday and Sunday. But we can expect 100-degree days for about the next 7 days. And if you are sensitive to heat, this is what you need to do. First of all, find some air conditioning. Avoid any strenuous activities, especially if you are outside doing anything at all. Wear light clothing and make sure you check on those family members and neighbors if you haven't heard from them a while. And if you are outside or even inside, just make sure you stay hydrated too by drinking plenty of water. Watch for heat cramps, exhaustion, and heat stroke. Very serious, and never leave people or pets in a closed car. Boy, with our temperatures like they are, it can get up to 150 degrees in a car. We will talk much more weather coming up a little bit later on. And now here are a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. With record high heat firmly entrenched in the region for at least the next week, the Chelan-Douglas Health District has identified cooling centers in Wenatchee, East Wenatchee, and communities throughout north central Washington. A Cenex supply building and several vehicles were destroyed Saturday night in a fire about 8 miles east of Royal City. 4 people were injured in a Saturday rollover accident near Othello. And a Chelan man must serve 3 years in prison after pleading guilty to child molestation and rape. But first, our top story tonight. When we say it's hotter than normal, what does normal mean? The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration bases its climate reports on weather observations over a 30-year period. As of last month, the observation period is 1991 to 2020, and those new normals reflect our changing climate. The last 30 years were far hotter across the U.S. than the 20th century average, and planting zones have shifted northward to account for warmer overnight temperatures. In other words, from a weather standpoint, normal is hotter than it used to be. Well, speaking of hot, with record high heat firmly entrenched in the region for at least the next week, the Chelan-Douglas Health District has identified cooling centers in Wenatchee, East Wenatchee, and communities throughout north central Washington. Starting Saturday, the Town Toyota Center is open 24 hours a day for people needing a place to escape the extreme heat. In addition, all branches of the NCW Library District have been identified as cooling centers, and that includes in Wenatchee, East Wenatchee, Cashmere, Chelan, and Entiat. We'll have more on this unprecedented heat wave a little later in the newscast. Well, switching gears now, a Cenex supply building and several vehicles were destroyed Saturday night in a fire about 8 miles east of Royal City. Royal Slope firefighters arrived at about 9 p.m. to find the building in Royal Camp fully involved. The Grant County Sheriff's Office said firefighters had to assume defensive positions to prevent the fire from spreading further. There were no injuries, and the cause of the fire is being investigated by the Grant County Fire Marshal. 4 people were injured in a Saturday rollover accident near Othello. The Washington State Patrol says Dominga Perez Pineda was southbound on Highway 17 north of Othello about 1:12 p.m. when she lost control of her Honda Odyssey minivan and struck a trailer being towed by an oncoming Chevy pickup. Perez's SUV then flipped, injuring her and her 3 teenage passengers. The 3 teens were treated at Samaritan Healthcare, but Perez had to be airlifted to Cadlick Medical Center for her injuries. Troopers say she's likely to be cited in that accident. Well, a Chelan man must serve 3 years in prison after pleading guilty to child molestation and rape. 22-year-old Severo Rodriguez Diaz has already served a year on his sentence in Chelan County Jail while awaiting trial. In early 2020, a 13-year-old victim disclosed that Rodriguez offered her alcohol and sexually assaulted her at his home. He pleaded last week to counts of third-degree rape and second-degree child molestation. Rodriguez has no prior criminal record. After serving his time, he must register as a sex offender. Coming up next, among many other things, the extreme heat has made for more dangerous driving conditions in areas where wildlife cross roadways. Cherry grower Kyle Matheson says he's withdrawn a lawsuit alleging Chelan County unlawfully interfered with his development of 250 acres of orchard land. And Liberty Orchards, the cashmere maker of applets and cotlets, has been purchased by a company called KDV USA. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Introducing Alpine Airman. Because every home needs a superhero to eliminate poor indoor air quality, send inefficient operating equipment packing, and cut high energy bills down to size. For heating or cooling and equipment replacement, turn to the experts and the superheroes at Carrier and Alpine Air. We offer the best deals on high-efficiency Carrier products, along with friendly, knowledgeable service and incredible savings to fit your budget.
Mary Maids of Wenatchee has been professionally cleaning and sanitizing homes and businesses in North Central Washington since 1998. Mary Maids uses commercial-grade cleaners and viricides. Mary Maids has implemented additional safety and sanitation protocols. They are strictly following CDC guidelines for the safety of their clients and employees. For expert help with cleaning and sanitizing your home or business, call or look up Mary Maids of Wenatchee to schedule your free estimate today.
Raising a family may have seemed overwhelming to your parents, but they weren't. Coach, teacher, life guide, caregiver. Family takes care of family. And as the circle of life continues, you now are their caregiver. It may seem overwhelming, but we're here to help you find the support services necessary so you can provide quality care to your elders.
Call Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington at 1-800-572-4459.
Welcome back. In another news, among many other things, the extreme heat has made for more dangerous driving conditions in areas where wildlife cross roadways. The Washington State Patrol said wildlife are moving more in the early morning hours before the extreme heat sets in. On Saturday morning alone, the State Patrol said there were 4 separate vehicle wildlife collisions in District 6. That including, as you see on your screen, a Chevy Cruze that had its front end caved in after hitting a deer on Interstate 90 near Vantage. Cherry grower Kyle Matheson says he's withdrawn a lawsuit alleging Chelan County unlawfully interfered with his development of 250 acres of orchard land. Matheson's company, Wheeler Ridge LLC, sued the county and its natural resources director, Mike Caputa, last year, seeking $16 million in damages. The organic cherry operation lies within the Stamilt Basin, where the county spent years negotiating to preserve land for forest management, recreation, and elk habitat. Matheson said the county unnecessarily held up his development permits for environmental review, but he was granted the first of his permits earlier this year and plans to set aside 360 acres as a conservation area. Liberty Orchards, the cashmere maker of applets and cotlets, has been purchased by a company called KDV USA. Liberty Orchards had been on the brink of shutting its doors before reaching a deal with KDV, a company associated with KDV Group, a Russian producer of snacks and confectionery products. Liberty Orchards said the new company will continue full operations in Kashmir, retaining all employees, the free factory tour, retail store, and online store. According to the KDV Group website, the company owns 15 factories in Russia and offers 700 products. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Please stay with us.
Your search for quality patio furniture with excellent customer service is over. Blue Lagoon is proud to offer only the finest outdoor furniture and accessories from some of the most renowned manufacturers in the industry. Our showroom showcases a large selection of in-stock furniture, fire pits, umbrellas, cushions, and outdoor accessories. Our in-house outdoor decor specialist is available to help you design and custom order the perfect furniture for your unique space.
What you're doing is ridiculous.
Well,
I mean, you might as well throw up a screen door to block the summer smoke.
sometimes it gets
When we
warm.
breathe in the wildfire smoke, we are ingesting hazardous chemicals such as acetic acid and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. A lot of bad stuff, okay?
Well, yeah, that's why we.
Cardboard ain't gonna cut it.
So.
Go to ShelinPUD.org/save today.
Hi, this is Brian Snyder with Black Rock Asphalt Services here in Wenatchee, your local Black Rock Seal Coat company. Have you looked at your driveway or parking lot lately? Is it gray and oxidized? Does it have cracks that have not been taken care of? Or do you have striping that is pretty much non-existent? Please give us a call locally here, 509-665-9769. Learn more at blackrockasphaltsealcoating.com.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. The Wells House on the campus of Wenatchee Valley College is an architectural gem that is now accessible to the public. In tonight's feature story, the Wenatchee Valley Museum and Cultural Center produced a video this month celebrating the historic home and its unique place in Wenatchee history.
Hi, I'm Terry, and this is Jean, and we'd like to welcome you to Wells House, located on the Wenatchee Valley campus.
This home is called the Wells House, and Mr. and Mrs. Wells did live here for many years, but it was built by W.T. Clark and his wife Adelaide for their family of 5 children. The architect was C.C. Cross, who was well known in California and a friend of the Clarks. Mrs. Clark helped with designing stained glass windows and worked closely with Mr. Cross as he designed the house from California.
Wells House is a 10-room house, not counting the halls, the baths, the sleeping porches, and basement storage rooms. The house is an imposing structure and once was the most elegant house in Wenatchee. This masterful piece of architecture is a combination of 3 similar but contrasting architectural styles. The cross-gabled house is craftsman in its basic form and first floor structure. Second floor has the basic timber framing of a Tudor style. Walls of the basement and first story are made of native hand-squared rock over a foot in thickness, which came from the banks of the Columbia River.
A large tower to the right of the house, also made of native rock, extends from ground level to the overall height of the house. It is similar in style to the Tower of London, and no other structure of this design exists in the Wenatchee Valley. The families living here called the 2 rooms in the tower turret rooms. One is a part of the living room, and one is off the master bedroom. After 112 years, the Wells House still stands proud and beautiful. Come visit and marvel at the construction of such an historic treasure. As always, if you have any photos or stories about Wells House, call the museum. We are always eager to hear more about this wonderful piece of Wenatchee history.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you all had a great weekend. It was a hot weekend. We tied a record high on Saturday of 102 degrees, set a new high record yesterday at 107, and we're going to do it again today too as we look out our weather window this afternoon. It's our Tumwater Sky-Fi camera, and it's up near the Leavenworth area. You can see parts of Leavenworth here and a little bit of that haze. That's actually moisture trapped in the atmosphere that's so hot it just sort of stays in limbo because of all the evaporation. Also a little bit of smoke from some small fires around Washington State. But boy, it is a hot one out there. I was in the beautiful town of Mansfield over the weekend at a wedding, and it was fantastic up that way and very hot as well. 111. Unofficial all-time high temperature record in Wenatchee. Our old record, 109. That was our old all-time record, and that was in 2015. Also, the anniversary of the Sleepy Hollow fire, and boy, we all remember that if you were living here. 82 is our normal high temperature right now. Can you believe that? We were almost that warm for our low this morning of 75. 57 is our normal low. 45 our record low temperature. That just sounds downright cold now, doesn't it? And that was set back in 1975. Sunrise 5:07, and the sun will set tonight at 9:02. Let's take a peek at those Tuesday temperatures. And I don't know if you want to see these Tuesday temperatures. This doesn't even look real, some of these numbers up here. 116 in Moses Lake and Ephrata, 115 in Quincy, 114 for Wenatchee. Even Lake Wenatchee, 108 degrees tomorrow. Omak, you're going to see a scorcher. Your high tomorrow, 116, and almost all of these temperatures will be all-time record highs for each one of these towns on our map. So a very historic heat wave is upon us. Let's take a look at that surface loop now. We're seeing high pressure, and it is large, and it's a big dome of warmth right here. We're seeing some storm systems to our west, also some storm systems to our east, and that's pretty much trapped that dome of hot air right over the Pacific Northwest. All-time record high is expected tomorrow of 114 degrees. We just showed you that. That could stand for a long, long time. And look at that deep, dark maroon color. Phoenix tomorrow, about 103. Death Valley, by the way, tomorrow, 112. So we will be one of the warmest spots in all of the United States tomorrow. Not going to get much better for Wednesday. 112 degrees is possible for our midweek Wednesday. That would be a record high temperature. We're going to set a lot of those this week. For Thursday, a little bit breezy. It might bring a little bit of relief on Thursday. Slightly with capital letters, cooler and still hot for Thursday with highs between 105 and 110 degrees, and nothing is going to change into our 4th of July weekend. Sunny and still unseasonably hot with this ridge still up and over the Pacific Northwest. Friday's high temperatures once again around 105, maybe 106 degrees. And then for Saturday, sunny and hot. If you have plans this weekend for the 4th of July, not too bad if you're camping near a water source, that's for sure. And then by the end of our forecast on Sunday, the 4th of July, another hot one. Sunny with high temperatures then between 100 and 105 degrees. Let's take a look now at that 7-day forecast tonight. How about that for a low temperature? 81 degrees, 114 tomorrow, 80 our low temperature tomorrow night, 112 on Wednesday, and then we begin to cool down just a little bit. You ever thought you'd think that 107 is a cool down? That's for Thursday, 105 for Friday and Saturday, and by the 4th of July on Sunday, sunny and hot with a high temperature of 104. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
According to new statistics from the FTC, Washington consumers lost nearly $69 million to fraud in 2020, more than double the amount lost in 2019. Con artists are becoming even more sophisticated in their tactics, and new scams are emerging at an increasing pace. AARP is offering a free online class, Tip-Offs to Rip-Offs. Learn how to protect yourself and your community. Sign up for the virtual class today at aarp.org/Wenatchee Tip-Offs.
I'm John Divis from Wenatchee Dental Arts, and I like to think myself as a comprehensive dentist. We are an office that treats people comprehensively for their dental problems. We do a lot of general dentistry in a broad sense. We don't send everything out. Things that we have the ability to do in the office, we like to keep in the office and under one roof and keep things as complication-free as possible. You can come to one place and have all their dental needs taken care of.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
and a happy Monday to you. Hopefully you're surviving all of this hot temperatures. U.S. Olympic team pretty much set after the trials were concluded over the weekend. We have 4 Washington State residents who will compete. Seattle's Nevin Harrison qualified to compete in canoe and kayak. Adrian Hegivari, I don't know if I get that right or not, is also from Seattle. He'll compete in cycling. Vancouver's Kara Winger will compete in track and field, and Auburn's Harrison Morris will compete in weightlifting. Summer Games set to begin July 23rd in Tokyo. Well, due to inclement weather in Chicago Saturday, Mariners and White Sox played a doubleheader yesterday. Game 1, a carryover from the second inning of Saturday's game with the score tied at 2. It would remain tied at 2 until Taylor Trammell stepped up with 2 outs in the top of the 9th.
Still has Vest, Graveman, and Middleton down there. Did he get another one? Looks like he did. And the Mariners have a 3-2 lead. Taylor Trammell, a 2-home run day. And it comes with 2 outs again. A big, big home run for Taylor Trammell. 2 today, gives him 8 on the season. 17 runs batted in. That's great production from your 9-hole hitter.
His first home run was on a first pitch fastball that he hit out of the ballpark. This time it's 5 pitches into it. And he's seen 98 a number of times. And here you go, the breaking ball, 87 miles an hour, center cut. Exit velo of 105, 387 feet. And he knew it.
It was Trammell's second home run of the game, gave Seattle a 3-2 win. The game wasn't without its controversy, however, as Hector Santiago became Major League Baseball's first pitcher to be ejected for the use of an illegal substance.
In the first week of this, we have seen a lot of pitchers giving their equipment to umpires and then walking by immediately. That has not happened with Hector Santiago as he was coming off the mound here at Guaranteed Rate Field. The umpires have stopped him. Phil Cuzzi over at the edge of the field.
You know, there's a few things in the glove besides sticky stuff. Number one, you can take a look at the eyelets of the glove, and if they're raised, you're maybe scraping the baseball. Or maybe there's something that can scrape the baseball and get extra movement, but it would appear that something was untoward in the glove of Hector Santiago, who can't believe it.
We have our first culprit of the new system of checking pitchers. Hector Santiago has been thrown out of the ball game. Scott Service doesn't like it at all, and with this, it's going to be a suspension, and you can't replace him on the roster.
You know, I'm wondering if, and you saw the umpire grabbing his wrist. Maybe there was something that he thought transferred from the wrist to the inside band of the glove, because that's what they were looking. They were looking over the inside band of the glove.
Now, both Santiago and manager Scott Service claim it was nothing but rosin in the glove and not an illegal substance.
I kind of joked around with him, moving like if I was going to run away, because I know I wasn't using anything besides rosin. You know, what's given to us. Because going into this, once it came up, I was just like, I'm going to use rosin. That's what we got. I don't want this to be a big thing. I don't want this to happen to me. So, and he said he just felt some stuff sticky on the inside of the glove. So all I used was rosin. I mean, I used it on both sides, arm, sweat, trying to keep that sweat from dripping down to the hands. I mean, that's the only thing I use rosin. That's about it.
When Hector came off the mound, obviously you guys aren't here. It's about 85 to 90% humidity today with the guy sweating. He had rosin, all over himself. Phil said he thought he had some sticky stuff in his glove. When you put rosin on sweat, it gets sticky. That's why they have a rosin bag back there. So, take it from there. It goes, the glove gets sent off, and, we'll see where it goes. But, our guys are doing the right thing. They're following the rule. The umpires are trying to do the best they can in a tough situation. He thought he felt something sticky. Rosin does get sticky when you put it on sweat. So we'll wait and see what happens.
Now, if Santiago is suspended, which will be determined by the commissioner's office, his 26-man roster spot will not be allowed to be replaced by another player. Well, because of the makeup of Saturday's rain delay, Game 2 Sunday was just a 7-inning affair, which Seattle lost 7-5. Mariners made a comeback bid in the 7th with Mitch Haniger at the plate.
Jays having to play there last year and this year. There we go. Fly ball deep left. Giddy up, baby. Giddy up and gone. There you go.
Now you have a ball game.
Home run, Mitch Haniger. That is his second hit in this ball game. He's made it a 7-5 game.
Hendricks really trying to get loose in a hurry now. I'm sure he thought he had some more time, but there you go. Breaking ball, middle of the plate. 102 on the exit velocity. 392 feet.
Welcome sight.
Yeah. And Mr. La Russa out of the dugout on his way to the mound.
Well, the way the Mariners have been playing lately and scoring late in games, they probably wish that game would have went 9 after a travel day today. Seattle's in Buffalo, take on the Blue Jays in the first of 3 games coming up tomorrow. Mariners and Rangers, the only American League West teams to take wins over the weekend in series. In Detroit, the Tigers' Robbie Grossman's sac bunt scored Akil Baddoo in the bottom of the 10th, and they beat Houston 2-1. Shohei Ohtani continues to star for Los Angeles as Showtime, as they call him, was a single shy of the cycle in leading the Angels in a come-from-behind 6-4 win at Tampa Bay. His 25th home run of the season was the game winner in the top of the 9th inning. Rangers completed a weekend sweep of Kansas City with Sunday's 4-1 win. Joey Gallo's 2-run homer highlighted a 3-run first inning for Texas. Aramis Garcia was 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs to lead Oakland to a 6-2 win over San Francisco. Giants took 2 of 3 in that weekend series. Well, the Wenatchee Apple Sox returned from a 6-game road trip after being swept over the weekend by Corvallis. Despite a 4-run 9th inning, Wenatchee dropped Sunday's finale 7-6 to the South leading Knights. Joel Norman had the call on Sunny FM.
Wenatchee Apple Sox scored 4 times in the 9th inning, but fell to the Corvallis Knights by a score of 7-6 on early Sunday afternoon at Goss Stadium. The game was moved up from a 1 p.m. start time down to a 10 a.m. start time because of the heat expected at Corvallis, and the Apple Sox had a chance to heat things up earlier as they had the bases loaded in the first inning, but Wenatchee unable to cash in, and Corvallis was either tied with the Sox or led them the rest of the way. As I mentioned, though, the Sox scored 4 runs in the 9th inning, including putting the tying run at second base, but Wenatchee ultimately was unable to bring him in and were swept by the Corvallis Knights. Monday's an off day for the Apple Sox, and then on Tuesday they will be back at home hosting the Portland Pickles with a 7:35 p.m. start time. With your Apple Sox update, I'm Joel Norman.
Michael O'Hara had a 3-run triple in that 9th inning, was 2 for 4 in the game with 4 RBIs. Luke Stuka had a 2-run double. Washington State's Cameron List took the loss on the mound. Tomorrow's forecast, 116 degrees in Wenatchee. That game against the Pickles will have an hour later start time. And unfortunately, due to the extreme temperatures, that'll prevent us from broadcasting that game due to personnel and equipment concerns. We're just not going to put it at risk or our people at risk. Other West Coast League play on Sunday. Here you see the scoreboard. Yakima Valley and Walla Walla went 16 innings to figure that one out. 7-6 the final. Bend in 12 innings down Cowlitz 5-3. Portland over Ridgefield in 10, 4-3. Bellingham stopped Cascade Collegiate 5-1, and Port Angeles in 7 innings because of the heat beat the Northwest Hunkers 15-3. Now taking a look at the schedule for today, not much going on, just one game on the slate where you have the Portland Gherkins at Corvallis, and then a full slate of games coming up tomorrow. As far as the standings are concerned, Wenatchee dropped back to 3rd in the West Coast League North Division, while Yakima Valley continues to run away with things at 10-5. The Corvallis Knights lead the South at 14-4. That's sports. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Eric. And that is going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us, and have a great night.
To achieve greatness once, it's not the end of the journey. It is only the beginning. Introducing the next all-electric super truck. The revolutionary GMC Hummer EV SUV. Reserve one now while they last.
Do you have a fun or interesting video you'd like to see featured here on the NCW Life channel? It's easy. All you have to do is send us an email at newsphotos@ncwlife.com.